What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. Yep, I have a video by Hit the Bricks. Talks about on the second date she reveals that she's 4 months pregnant, and I just reveal that this isn't happening. So let's get into this right now. So here we go. Let me get that, and yeah. So here we go.
Just right when he was out on a second date with a girl that he liked, and she revealed that she was, wait for it, 4 months pregnant.
Huh?
And of course, looking for a stepdad to the unborn child. And you're going to see how this whole thing plays out and the big shock that happens to everybody when this guy isn't the weak, white knight nice guy that they expect him to be and trapped him into a bad situation. And I'll be going to go over here, guys, just to show you, number one, it's ideal. Don't let other people fix you. Other people find your own dates. And two, how it just is so expected out there for guys to just become the hero, the white knight, the savior, and the kind of backlash that guys can get when they don't want to do that and take care of themselves. Titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to date a pregnant woman and potentially a single mom? And a shout to Nishad for sending this story. And again, guys, before I go into this, remember, if you're on X, formerly Twitter, come check me out, SSM channels. We're having a good time over there, and definitely come join the growing community. He says here, I'm 27 years old, and I've been working with my friend Richard, a 31-year-old male, a colleague of mine. He's been trying to set me up with his family friend Sarah, a 28-year-old female, and I agreed to go on a date with her. On the date, I thought she was really fun, and we seemed pretty compatible. We had a good time, and I was actually looking forward to seeing her again. Hey, he's thinking, hey, what can go wrong? Well, on our second date, or during the second date, Sarah mentions to me that she's, wait for it, pregnant. She's about 4 months along, and I wasn't sure how to handle it. I took a long time to process it and didn't know how to reply. I can see him just like, what? Or literally all of a sudden he's chugging that whole beer he has there, all of a sudden sitting back. Second date, huh? Now here's the thing. Do you think she was aware that this guy didn't know on their first date? And how about this Richard character, who's a so-called friend from work? Neglected to mention this? A lot of a-holes in this story.
No kidding.
Well, personally, I didn't know people expecting a child went on dates, both men and women. I always thought the baby would be their priority for at least 2 years. Maybe I'm out of touch by not judging them. I'm sure her baby is a top priority for her, but is a bigger priority? Finding a stepdad for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
That being said, I just don't want to date someone with a child. Not because of some spicy reason. I just don't want to be a stepfather. That's okay, man. If I scold my own kid, they'd be upset. But if I say something to someone else's kid, there's a high chance of hearing, "You're not my dad." And then there's the whole situation with the baby's father, real dad, fake dad, and drama I don't want to be a part of. And honestly, I don't think I could love someone else's child like my own. Dude, you don't need to make excuses. And thank God the whole comment section's on his side here.
Yeah.
The problem is that society is in a different way, doesn't see things quite as we do. So I tried to stay calm during our date. I would have walked then. I would have ended the date. I would have been like, hold on here after the shock wore off, and said my piece and said, especially part ways. I wouldn't have gone through the whole date, but I'm an asshole. I didn't know how to react or how to say it to her, but in the end, when she asked if we could meet again, I had to be honest and told her that I didn't want to continue the relationship because I don't see myself taking on the huge responsibility of being a stepfather. Well, you know what? It's good you were honest. It is, and I'm dying to know, was she aware this guy didn't know? No, actually, that's a dumb question because she admitted to him. So, of course, she didn't. Yeah, what am I saying here? I'm losing my mind here. Oh, yeah, she revealed it to him. So they went out on the date, and she knew he didn't know. So she's an asshole, too, as well as Richard. My bad.
Yeah, why is, okay, if I'm a dude and, okay, if he didn't know, okay, but I think he knew is the guy at work knew she was pregnant. Why are you going to do that to a guy? Or are you just some, punk that's going to be like, oh, yeah, he'll date her and he'll be a good guy to her and he'll be the white knight. Yeah, go F yourself. Jesus.
Guys. Afterwards, Richard was furious with me. Oh, yeah? I
What?
think you'll be furious at Richard setting you up with this girl that he knew was pregnant.
What? Yo, the guy that went on the date should be pissed off at you, Richard. Really? Really, dog? You didn't know that she was pregnant? Oh, yeah, you knew, but you're like, oh, yeah, you're going to be the white knight. Man, go screw yourself.
He told me that Sarah had been cheated on by her husband, and during the divorce, she found out that she was pregnant. Okay, that's unfortunate, but how's this guy's problem?
Yeah.
She didn't want to keep the baby because she didn't want to raise it alone, but all her friends, including Richard, persuaded her to keep it, saying there are all plenty of good guys out there who would step up. Richard then told me that the first guy he thought was me.
Oh, my
I have a
God.
better idea. Why doesn't Richard step up? Why isn't Richard taking care of her? And wouldn't it be interesting and a nice little twist if this was Richard's baby? How about that? He said that I was the only one she liked, clearly upset about being rejected. Though she didn't say anything to him, but it was obvious she was sad. Nobody likes rejection, but you fucking lied to me, asshole. You set me up with
Yes.
this girl just thinking I'd be to step up and be the good male. I'm actually surprised to reveal in the date for revealing this whole thing. The hell with them.
No kidding.
I told Richard that while I feel
Wow.
bad for Sarah, it's not my responsibility to fix her situation. I'm still figuring things out, and I'm not ready to be with someone who's pregnant. It's sad, but it's just not something I want to take on. Bro, take care of yourself. After that, I started noticing my colleagues at work giving me the cold shoulder. Ben, a 28-year-old one of them, told me that Richard had been telling people I almost caused a pregnant woman to lose her child because of my behavior. Now he's
What
screwing things up at work.
the?
HR. I set the record
Yeah.
straight with Ben. Now he's suggesting I take this to HR because of how Richard is portraying me. So, am I the a-hole for not wanting to date a pregnant woman? No, dude. Not at all. It's
No.
not your responsibility, okay? If what the story is happened, that she was married to this guy and she was a good wife and he cheated on her and they're getting divorced about that, okay, that's too bad for her. And now she's pregnant with this child, but they're getting a divorce. Well, that's not your problem. Okay. And what happened to the strong, independent woman that doesn't need a man to raise a child and all that?
Yeah.
But anyhow, but she deliberately went out with you on a first date, knowing she's pregnant, obviously, and didn't tell you. And she obviously then told you afterwards. And the so-called friend of yours from work, Richard, who is not your friend, he
Nope.
then deliberately set you up, tricking you, just assuming that you wouldn't care. That ain't cool. Wasting your time, wasting your resources, and bringing all this drama into your life. And now he's affecting your job.
Mhm.
On the one hand, there's a part of me that says you should confront him outside of work and tell him to fix this shit. Otherwise, you're going to HR. On the other hand, I'm thinking the hell with him. Just go to HR and say what this guy's doing. This guy's creating a hostile work environment, turning your workers against you, spreading these rumors. The hell with him. I get his ass fired. But no, you're not the a-hole. But do you see, guys, the shit here that's involved, the shit that happens, the idea that men have to step up and be the savior and the white knight? Do you think she'd be out with this guy otherwise if she wasn't pregnant? No. She's just looking for a daddy. And again, if she's in a tough situation because of her ex, okay, that's too bad. But she ruined any sympathy for me by going out with this guy the first time around and not bringing it up. We can go round and around here. But no, you're not the a-hole. And the great thing is, guys, that the whole comment section has this dude's back, which I'm going to read a few just now.
Yep. So he goes out with this chick who's pregnant, and then and then his buddy, or not his buddy, his Richard, caused all this, and now she's at HR said, I'm the a-hole, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. No, and it's affecting the workplace. No, but I would, yeah, no, I would be like, screw Richard, and I'd be like, nope, you got to let HR know because it's going to get really bad at the workplace, And yeah, this is a thing. Just because you didn't become the, Captain Saberhome, and, help this chick, yeah, you're the villain now. So no, I would go to HR and just let them have it, let it all out because before, she's already starting. And then Richard, screw that SOB.
One guy says, not the a-hole. Dating isn't a charity program, and agreeing to a date doesn't mean you signed up for stepdad boot camp.
Yep.
You were honest, respectful, and didn't lead her on, and that's more than a lot of people would do.
Yeah.
Richard needs to chill with the hero complex and stop trying to recruit you for a role you never auditioned for.
Mm-hmm.
Taking this to HR might not be a bad move if your workplace is turning into a soap opera over your personal boundaries.
Yes.
Exactly. You're darn right. Go right to HR. I get this motherfucker fired. Another one. This guy says, you were misled into going on a date. It's pretty clear cut here who is in the wrong. Would you have gone on the date if you had been told by Richard she was pregnant? Of course he wouldn't have. That's why they did that.
Yeah, they set him
The
up.
answer is no. Did Richard keep this info from you because he knew you wouldn't accept the date? The answer is almost certainly yes.
Oh, yes.
I think he's the one
right.
out of touch with reality and is to blame for this young woman experiencing hurt and let down. She went on the first date, knowing full well that she's pregnant, but knowing that guy doesn't know that. So don't feel too bad for her.
No.
In fact, I almost think you should reach out to Sarah and explain that Richard purposely withheld this info because he knew you wouldn't have accepted the date, and then you do feel bad about it, but the blame falls on the dishonest matchmaker, who in this case is Richard. She knows that.
Yeah.
I think you might find that she agrees. If she doesn't, she's out of touch with reality. And go to HR. This is completely inappropriate behavior by him, and make sure you put it in the complaint in writing and have a copy of it.
Yep.
And one more. This is a good one. Longer, but good. This guy says, not the a-hole. First of all, 4 months pregnant and dating after divorce is diabolical. She clearly has no concern for her own mental health and will only get worse during the pregnancy as her hormones fluctuate. Also, let's talk about the divorce. I never heard of a divorce being complete in 4 months, so is she still married? And having sex with her husband in the process. The questions that can be formulated by this is enough to say you dodged an effing bullet. All right.
Yes.
Are they still in the same house? Are they divorced? And a lot of times, sadly, if the guy she's married to is an asshole, a lot of times women are with assholes. Next thing is they go back to the assholes and sleep together while she's dating this guy. The woman needs to sit her hot pocket down and do some internal healing. How the fuck are you the bad guy for not wanting to step parent a child she herself didn't even want to keep? Block them all. Go to HR and Richard immediately. His ass needs to go. You're darn right about that. And he also says, Richard is slimy, but how did he think you as the first good guy, but then fielded other men first? He knew it was a fuck situation and tried others to see if they would go for it before finally beating your door to take on his illegitimate child. He knew he'd raise his kid and he'd be close enough to play Uncle Rich. So I'm not the only one thinking that this is actually Richard's kid. Because why isn't Richard going out with her?
Yep.
Obviously, something's up here. But anyhow, he handled it right. So guys, don't be that white knight, because we all know what happens to white knight. They get slayed by the dragons.
Yep. So that's the thing. Yep. Good old being Mr. Captain Saberhole, White Knight. You know, yeah, this could be toxic at the workplace. And yep. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is, Richard's kid. So, yeah. So now screw that, dude. Screw that and take it to HR, save all the evidence, have everything all ready to go, man, because this is now, again, affecting your work life. And sooner or later, if you don't do anything about it with HR, they're going to let you go. And they're going to say, oh, no, you're this. And this is just the setup that, that they do. So screw that. Screw Richard. Screw all that. No, you are not the asshole for saying, no, I'm not going to date her because she's pregnant. So, yeah. So screw that crap. All right. So if any of you enjoyed the Aegis content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment, and wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.